All right, welcome back, everyone. I am super pumped to dive into today's explainer with all of you. Today, we are doing something really cool. We're going to look at a business from the inside out. We're literally going to break down how the internal machinery of a company has to connect perfectly with its external vibe. So let's just jump right into this. Now, I want you to ask yourself this right off the bat. What actually makes a business successful on the inside and the outside? Well, you see, a truly great company really needs two things. It needs an incredibly strong internal heart, which is your human resource management or HRM, and it needs an attractive, persuasive external face, which is marketing. Because let's be real, you literally cannot have a viral product if the team building it behind the scenes is falling apart, right? So here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the heart of business. Number 2, developing and protecting employees. 3, the magic of marketing. 4, the marketing mix. And 5, research and closing sales. Starting with part 1, the heart of business, building the internal engine. Okay, so looking at the entire employee lifecycle, it's driven by these 8 core functions of human resource management. From the very moment you plan to hire someone, to recruiting them, training them, paying them, and making sure they're safe, HRM is the literal heart pumping vital talent through every single vein of the organization. And honestly, it all starts with HR planning. Look, you can't just hire based on vibes, okay? You need hard data. It's all about forecasting future needs. Take Tesco Malaysia, for example. They actually use AI computer forecasting to predict exactly how much seasonal staff they're going to need just to survive the absolute chaos of Chinese New Year and Raya. Or look at Petronas. They are already setting goals and hiring engineers today for renewable energy projects so they can hit their 2050 net zero targets. And Axiata Group, they're using trend analysis to predict massive demand for tech talent thanks to the 5G rollout. It is completely about staying one step ahead of the game. Moving on to part 2, developing and protecting employees, keeping the heart beating. So, taking care of your team means focusing heavily on compensation, benefits, and solid employee growth. Sure, this involves the mandatory monetary stuff like EPF and SOXO for workplace injuries, but it's also about those non-monetary perks, like how Telecom Malaysia offers childcare centers. And we absolutely can't forget training. It's basically like leveling up your stats in a game. Even gig workers are getting in on this. Foodpanda riders use e-learning apps for safety modules, while top tech startups are pairing their juniors with actual Silicon Valley mentors. But hey, quick warning here. When you are evaluating your team, you've got to watch out for appraisal errors. Specifically, beware of the halo effect. Just because your receptionist is super polite and gives off major main character energy, well, that doesn't automatically mean their spreadsheet data entry is flawless. And also watch out for recency bias. Don't judge a salesperson's entire year based solely on what they managed to sell in December. You have to keep it objective. Now, occupational safety and health, it's not just about paying people. It's literally about keeping them alive and well. DOSH regulations mandate that construction sites have to provide helmets and harnesses. But meanwhile, Employment Act updates protect modern workers too. They mandate flexible work arrangements, like work from home for IT companies in Cyberjaya, and boost maternity leave. At the end of the day, protecting your people is just non-negotiable. All right, let's pivot to part 3, the magic of marketing, the external bridge. If you want to master marketing, you first have to understand human psychology and that massive divide between needs and wants. Needs are essential for survival: food, clothing, shelter. On the other side, we've got wants, and these are driven entirely by culture and personality. Like, you need hydration to survive, but you want that overpriced venti iced caramel macchiato from Starbucks just for the aesthetic, right? You need to communicate, but you want a brand new iPad. Marketers exist right there in that little space between what you physically need and what they can actually persuade you to want. And the way marketers pull this off has evolved completely over time. We started way back at the production concept, where companies just wanted to make things as cheap and fast as humanly possible. Then we moved to making the best product, then to heavy, aggressive selling. But today we've evolved way past the standard marketing concept of just finding the right product for the customer. We are now in the era of the societal marketing concept, and this is huge for modern consumers. Companies now have to balance 3 things: company profits, consumer wants, and environmental well-being. Because if your business actively harms society today, the modern market will absolutely cancel you. Which brings us to part 4, the marketing mix, the famous 4 Ps. The very first P is product strategy. But keep in mind, a product isn't just some physical object you hold in your hand. It could be an intangible service or even an idea from a consultant. It includes the packaging. Think about that incredibly satisfying unboxing experience of an iPhone. the brand name reputation, warranties, and after-sales service. Consumers are buying the status and quality just as much as the physical item itself. Next up is the second P, place, or your distribution strategy. Because honestly, it doesn't matter how mind-blowing your product is if literally nobody can buy it. This is all about physical logistics, storing raw materials, managing intermediaries like wholesalers, and ensuring your product drops exactly when and where your target audience wants it, whether that's a physical shelf or a next-day Shopee delivery. Then we have the third P, promotion strategy. This is how you get the word out. It includes advertising, viral influencer, PR to maintain your image, sales promotions, and personal selling. The entire goal here is to educate, inform, persuade, and remind your customers about the incredible benefits you are offering them. And the final P is pricing strategy. Simply put, what does a buyer have to give up to get your product? What's crucial to remember here is that price is the single most flexible element of the marketing mix. You can raise it or lower it pretty quickly to hit your organizational goals. That could look like cost-based pricing, competition-based pricing, or even value-based pricing, all depending on what your specific target market will bear. Now, you aren't doing all of this in a vacuum. Marketers have to navigate two massive environments. First, the microenvironment. This includes the forces close to the company that you can somewhat influence, like your suppliers, your intermediaries, competitors, and customers. But then you have the final boss, the macro environment. These are huge, entirely uncontrollable external forces. Demographics, the global economy, massive technological shifts, new political regulations. You cannot control them. You can only adapt your 4 Ps to survive them. Finally, let's look at part 5. Research and closing sales, the final steps. Look, before you even try to sell, you absolutely have to do your research. This is the structured 5-step process of marketing research. Honestly, it's a lot like doing a massive diploma assignment, but with actual money on the line. First, you identify the problem or the unfulfilled need. Second, you design a research plan. Third, gather primary or secondary info through surveys or observation. Fourth, analyze that raw data into meaningful graphs. And fifth, you report those findings to the big bosses. This minimizes those hidden risks and sets your benchmarks. Once you're armed with that research, you head out into the wild to sell. And personal selling? It is a 7-step journey. It's not just, sliding into someone's DMs and demanding a purchase. You start with prospecting, finding people who actually have the buying power, then building trust, asking the right questions, presenting your product as the ultimate solution to their specific problem. You logically address their concerns and objections, and finally, you close the sale. But hold on, step 7 is probably the most crucial piece of the whole puzzle, getting resales and referrals. The transaction does not end when they hand over their cash. Good rapport and stellar after-sales service turn a one-time buyer into a wildly loyal brand ambassador. They literally start doing your marketing for you by referring their friends and family, and that creates a continuous, highly profitable loop. And that brings us perfectly full circle. We've seen how HRM builds a powerful internal team, and how marketing takes that internal power and bridges it to the outside world to drive revenue. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. If you were running a business today, which needs more of your attention right now? Is your internal engine sputtering, or is your external bridge collapsing? Because you absolutely need both to win. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.